And now here he is, BC's ambassador to the world of horse racing, Mr. Tommy Walski.
Recently, the Sporting Kings met with Chairman and CEO of Great Canadian Gaming Corporation, Ross McLeod, to learn what was in store for horse racing in this province. Now, because McLeod is also a prominent horse owner and breeder, we had a chance to see the other side of horse racing through a pair of eyes that knows the sport in and out.
I think it's fair to say that I do understand the different elements of racing much better than when I first got into it, which was when we, as a company, acquired Hastings. When we got into horse racing, it had been in a state of decline for well over a decade, maybe 15 years, and we knew that we had to start to take some steps to fix what was broken. The first thing we did was work towards getting the purse structure to move in the right direction instead of a negative direction. What happened during the decline was our racehorse population was depleting in British Columbia. We have breeders who've struggled just as much as the trainers and the owners and everybody else has struggled. And this next step that we must take is to help the breeding industry rebuild itself so that we have the horse population. Because for one thing, my objective is to return to at least a 3-day-a-week race card so that we can send a message out to the public that Hastings is open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, period. It's a much easier message than, well, we're open, no, we're closed. We're open, we're closed. That's not really a good marketing message. And quite frankly, it makes a living much easier if we know we've got a race card for the bulk of the nice weather that we have in Vancouver. So in order to do that, we need more horses. And we need the breeders back in business, and both the provincial government and the minister that's responsible and Hastings are both looking for solutions, and we're, I believe, shortly going to be able to make some announcements where we've addressed some of those issues. It's my feeling that people who breed horses in the interior of BC should get, maybe they should get their expenses to get their horses down to the auction in Langley annually, because that's a little bit unfair for them compared to somebody who's breeding locally. We have to do lots of little things, and we also have to improve the incentives substantially. We have to do something about the incentive program to bring in mares in full, because we have to rebuild our population. And we need to really address those things. There's lots of good ideas been put forward. We're not quite ready to make some announcements, but I can tell you for sure our minister responsible for horse racing understands the issue, understands the problem, and we at Hastings understand it also. Personally, I'm out buying mares. I just bought 3 more in full out of the Ocala auction to come up to BC. I've got some that I had acquired in California that are going to be on their way up. We have to do this. We have to replace the infrastructure. For example, our BC Cup Day can't be 100% BC breds, which we'd like it to be, mostly because we don't have the quantity to get enough quality stake horses to make that card whole. There's only one way to do that, and that's for the breeders to know that they've got a market to sell their horses into that's good, that the BC bred is more valuable to an owner, so they'll pay the price for it. And I think we can do that by making some changes to conditions, condition book. I think we can also give some direct incentives in certain particular areas. So if there's a message that I'd like to deliver is that I'm very concerned and very supportive of the tough times that the breeding industry's had over the last 10 years. And we're going to address it. It's top of our agenda now.
Ross, it's obvious the track needs improvements,
Right.
front side, back side. Is there plans for the back stretch eventually?
Yes, Yes, that's the next part of our build out. We want to address the backstretch, address parking issues. We have some good ideas for some corporate boxes, perhaps, but a lot of that kind of work is by mutual agreement with the city. After all, the fairgrounds is the city's land, and we need their cooperation, and we need them to have their input into it. So our staff are beginning that process, and it's what we needed to do first was the building block things. Now we can do the fun stuff and the good stuff and the stuff that we all really want to have a first-class facility at the end of it all.
Would it be safe that you're pleased when you go to the race now and you see the demographics are changing like they haven't for years? And we got young people with kids there.
You know something? There's only two. I mean, obviously my background is casinos, right? There's only two games, and they're played by young people all over the world that are mixed chance and skill. One is poker, and it's taken off worldwide. The other game that somebody can play is handicapping and betting on the ponies, and that's mixed chance and skill. So it's a product that young people ought to love, and they're going to find it a lot more fun than playing poker when they get into it.
Ross, from a horse owner standpoint, you must have some highs. Can you give us a couple?
Yep. Probably the thing that sticks in my mind is being at the Santa Anita Derby in '05 and seeing my horse and Buzzards Bay head bob all the way down the stretch. We wound up coming in second by a neck, but to actually think we might have won that Grade 1 and we're off to Kentucky for the Kentucky Derby was pretty heavy duty. The other one we had got a ghost of a chance when in Breeders' Cup Day to Belmont Park and won the first race, which was a stake called the Sports Page for a sprint. Great sprinter. Again, came out of nowhere, and it was just and he was racing amongst all future stallions. I mean, they were all speedballs, and that was just like unbelievable. You know, you still get even if the race is a claiming race, you still get that thing that happens when you got a shot to win, right? But obviously, the bigger the stake, the bigger the the tougher the competition, the better it is. So those are the two that stick out in my mind.
Ross, thanks for doing this.
All right.